There are plenty of really great options for variable ND filters on the market today. So what makes this one stand out from all the rest? Well, let's talk about that. This is the new V2 variable ND and circular polarizer made by Freewell, which could magnetize to your lens, capable of stacking filters, and has true color, just to name a few features. But we're gonna get into all of that and more, including the key features of this filter system and how I used it to film the scene you just watched. So let's get into it, friends. Hey, what's happening, everyone? My name is Ryan, and if you're new with us, welcome. I truly appreciate you being here. I think one of the things that I love about technology for camera gear specifically is that things are starting to become more and more accessible. We basically now have cinema cameras the size of mirrorless cameras, and we also have lights so small but also powerful enough to hide anywhere, put in any place, and also get a really great quality look. And now we could stack filters, get an amazing look without having to use a matte box at all, which is something I love about this filter system personally. Now we're gonna dive right in, but before we do, just a quick disclaimer, Freewell is not sponsoring this video, and they didn't ask me to say anything in particular, and all of my thoughts are my own. However, they did send me this variable ND filter as well as their mist filter for free in exchange for a video review and my honest opinion on this filter system. I've had this filter system for about 3 or 4 weeks now, maybe even longer, and I've tested it extensively. I'm here at my in-laws' house. You've probably seen me film here before, but I'm actually here because I'm closer to the location where I filmed this ad for a new product that I'm working on, and I'll include some of the images that I got while I was on those jobs using this filter in this video. And also, like I mentioned earlier, I'll show you some of the behind the scenes and how I shot that intro in the beginning using this variable ND filter and circular polarizer, just so that I could show you how I use this filter system for my YouTube videos specifically. But before we get into that, I want to go through all the key features of this filter system. So let's head back to the studio and get into that. The front cap, the back cap, and everything but the glass is made of metal and really does feel like it has a great build quality, which is actually important to me in terms of protecting my gear. It does come with this leather case here, which also magnetizes shut. There's a little ring here in the back, and it actually comes with a carabiner, so if you wanted to hook that onto a backpack or something, you could totally do that. It also has this little strap here, so when you're ready to pull out a filter, it just comes right out. I love little details like this. It's packaging like this and details like this that truly make me feel like they made it just for us who will use it on a frequent basis. Within the case, there's also 2 little slots for memory cards. One other thing that I like about this case is that you can stack many filters in here very safely. There's this like little felt or soft material here. When you slide your filters in, you're not gonna have to worry about them getting scratched up or anything like that. This particular setup came with the 82mm mounting ring. This is what the filter actually magnetizes to. But again, if you have a smaller lens, then you just have to go onto their website and order the size that you need. Also, like I said, this came with a front cap and a back cap as well. This back cap also serves as a front cap. If you don't have that one, or you just need something to throw on there really quickly, you could do that as well. I think what I love most about this is that it's completely secure. You just put your back cap on, your front cap on, and you could totally just throw that into your bag and it's gonna be just fine. The front cap also comes with this little ring here to make it a little bit easier to pull off and put back on. I actually really like that a lot and find myself using it quite a bit. Of course, this is a variable ND filter giving you 3 to 7 stops of ND. One of the things that I do love about this is that it has a hard stop, not continuous. It also has the numbers on the side so you can see how many stops you're at, which I think is a really nice feature to me personally. But of course, not only is this a variable ND filter, but it's also a circular polarizer. If you're unfamiliar with what a polarizer is, this is gonna adjust the glare within your shot. Another thing that a circular polarizer does is it can enhance the color of your scene. For example, if I have my camera pointing up at the sky when the blue sky started to come out, and you can see the difference. You get that deep, rich blue color in the sky as I adjust the circular polarizer. Now all you would have to do is loosen these screws a bit, and then you can move this circular polarizer to get the reflections or the glare that you desire for your look. Once you have that, then all you have to do is lock this in place and you're good to go, which I think is really cool because it prevents you from moving your circular polarizer as you're moving your variable ND filter. This makes it so much easier and so much cleaner. You have that reassurance that you're good to go. Now, Freewell also sent me the glow mist filter. This is the quarter mist, which also came with its own carrying case. And that's nice because if you only have this or you only want to bring the glow mist filter with you on a trip, all you have to do is take this one little pouch and there you go. This also has the magnetizing closing flap here and the little strip to pull out your filter. I've used these filters before and stacked them and the color still looks really great. Here is an example of that. Okay, so here is what the glow mist looks like once it's stacked on top of the ND filter. This gives off that hazy look that you might be looking for your videos. I also noticed that it's giving off a bit of halation on the lights behind me, and that's why I set those up just to kind of test that out, which is something that naturally happens when you're shooting a scene with actual film. This could be a really great way to get that filmic look that you might be looking for. It is a nice, simple, easy way to be able to get that look. However, there are a couple of caveats here. One being that this look will be baked in once you use it and you won't be able to remove that look. You can do this in post, and I do this a lot in post when I am filming my own videos. By the way, if you'd like to see how I edit my videos, let me know in the comments below because I'd love to make that video for you guys. But anyway, here it is side by side without the glow mist and just the ND filter, and then with the glow mist on top of the ND filter. You can see that the colors look really good. I didn't change any of my settings. Everything is exactly the same. The only thing that is different is that I stacked the glow mist. Okay, so here I am with yet another Future Ryan segment. I promise I don't do these on purpose. It's just that I'm always forgetting stuff. So the one thing that I forgot to mention about this mist filter is that you can actually use it without the ND filter just by simply taking the ND filter off, flipping it around, and then screwing it onto the mounting ring, which gives you complete flexibility in being able to use this entire system however you want to. Being able to make all of these changes on the fly really quick, especially when you're doing a client project and time is of the essence. This is just another reason why this filter works really well for me personally. And also, if you didn't want to take this apart and you wanted just to stay just like this with the back cap and the front cap on, this fits right in the front here, making it easy for me to make the decision to keep this in my bag all the time. Having a system like this seriously makes it super easy and quick to make any changes while you're on set or even when you're making a YouTube video. Also, based on a test that Freewell did themselves, you can use this filter with some pretty wide angle lenses. They did say that you could use it with a 16mm without any issues and the glow mist up to 17mm without any issues. However, I don't have that focal length with me here in the studio, so I couldn't do any of those tests on my own, but I will leave a link to a video where they dive a little bit deeper on this if you would like to learn more. Now, I've had this filter for about 3 or 4 weeks now and been testing it out extensively on my camera. One of the features that I wanted to talk about in this video that I found very interesting, Freewell had mentioned that they use a true color technology on this filter system. Now, what that basically means is in the past, when you would buy a circular polarizer and a variable ND together in a combo like that, you would usually get what's called cross polarization. I'm using the variable ND on my camera right now. Here's what it looks like. Right now I'm using my Sony FX3 and we're at 800 ISO, f2.8 and shutter at 50 at 5600 Kelvin. And then here is what it looks like without the variable ND. Now I had to adjust the aperture so that I can get an image that's not completely blown out and kind of match the image with the variable ND filter. And this kind of goes into my next point and why I would even use an ND filter in the first place. It's more than just adjusting the exposure outside super easily. It's also so that we could keep our camera settings the way that we intend for them to be, because your camera settings, along with camera movement and color choices and all the different elements that go within the language of cinema, are going to affect the way that the audience perceives the story. So adjusting your aperture to expose for your image isn't going to help because it's going to pull all the depth out of the scene. Here is a side-by-side of when I was talking just earlier with the ND filter and here without. You could kind of tell the difference in terms of depth. It just feels different. Okay, so as promised, I am going to break down that intro scene that I did with the car, just so that you could see what I'm doing here and how I'm using this variable ND/polarizer to help me get a scene like this. But let me break it down. I'm gonna actually only focus on this scene here because it's gonna be the scene that's gonna represent what I'm talking about the most. However, I am using the same techniques, the same amount of ND, almost the same position on the circular polarizer for almost every single shot. So we're just gonna focus on this one, and because I did a little bit more with lighting in this one, not too much, but a little bit. So let's get into it. Okay, so if I am in the car, and this is gonna be terrible, by the way, let's just say that this is my car. These are the wheels, my headlights. Here I am. It's like a futuristic Jetson car or something. That's terrible. Well, let's just go with it. And that is pointing this way at around 45 degrees, I think. I had the camera set at basically all the settings that I mentioned earlier. That's what I'm using for this shot here. I'm at a 70mm focal length. I knew that I was gonna have to balance the glare in the glass as well as on the car, so I just kind of adjusted my circular polarizer until I found the desired look that I was going for. And I wanted to be able to see my face. However, you couldn't really see my face that well through the glass, even though I was using the circular polarizer. But that has nothing to do with the polarizer. That actually has a lot to do with the amount of light that's going into the car. Now I have these windows that are lighting me up as well, but I wanted to fill in the darker areas a bit so I don't have as harsh of a contrast. So all I did was I took my little tube light and I just placed that above the rear view mirror, and I put it at about 100% at 5600 Kelvin, and that seemed to work out really well. Here's a side-by-side of what it looks like without the tube light and what it looks like with the tube light. Also too, just so you can get a good idea of how this polarizer works, here's a side-by-side of what it could look like if I didn't have control over the glare in the glass, and what it looks like after using the circular polarizer. Also, before any of that, I had to set my variable ND, and all I did was I set it to about 6 or 7 stops of ND. That seemed to work out really well. And really that is all I did, as simple as that. It was super fast, super quick, and it's all because of this filter system. If I wanted to add in a little bit of flavor, I could just add in the glow mist. However, I didn't feel like this scene needed it. I really just wanted to show the true color technology, the variable ND, and the circular polarizer, and how you could use all of that just with this one filter and be super quick, get a super cool cinematic sequence, so that way you can have a real life example of how you could use this for your own videos or even your film work. Now, whenever doing a product review, I usually try to add in a couple of things that could be improved, but at the price point that this thing is, it was really hard for me to find anything negative to say about this filter system. But if I had to say anything at all, it would probably be that there could be a little bit of an improvement in the locking system. Now, I love the locking system. As I mentioned before, it really helps for me to not have to move my circular polarizer by accident if I wanted to move the variable ND filter. However, it would be nice to find a way to have a quick release so you didn't have to unscrew the screws just to remove the whole system altogether. But again, a super minor thing. I think what separates this filter system from all the rest is honestly the price. There are so many variable ND filters out there and variable ND filter systems out there, and really great ones too that can get you an amazing look, but they're gonna cost considerably more. You can get this filter system on the Freewell website and on Amazon for $149 US, and you could also pick up their glow mist filter as well for $49.99 US as of the recording of this video. And I'll leave all the links down below if you're interested in checking it out some more. I personally love this filter system for just about everything, including client work, film projects, and of course, my YouTube videos. But again, these are just my opinions. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I really am here to walk alongside you and help you on the journey. Now, I can't say that this filter system is for everybody, but I could truly say that this one is definitely one to consider. Well, that's gonna do it for me, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. If you like this video or you learned something, please click the like button down below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, friends.